All right. All right, we're in. Okay, so Shop Class Podcast. Tonight's guest, Roy Castillo. Hope I said that right. He is a shop teacher in Southern California, and he brought his students to a furniture competition in Vegas. We're going to hear all about it. But right now, we're actually talking about an old topic that has come back, which is the how to handle the reopening of the schools in the light of a spike in COVID. So we were just going over that a little bit, and then we're going to get into, Roy bringing his students down to Vegas for this competition. He does some really nice high-end furniture, and they won some awards. So it's actually pretty cool. So Roy, you're starting school tomorrow. And
So one thing I did, and I don't mean to say anything, interesting. No, I do. One thing I did is I downloaded the roster, and then I just called all my advanced students. One thing that was different about last year that you guys probably all experienced is that if a student during distance learning, if they were communicating, if they were trying, if they were participating, man, they passed the class.
Totally.
And I don't mean that in any, it's not there are students that there was a difference, right? There were students that really felt good about the work they did. I felt I was proud of the work they did. If we could have got it done faster, I would have submitted it to this student showcase. I just couldn't get it done and photographed to submit for distance learning. They had a distance learning category. And so I'll show you guys some of that work. I think I've posted it on Instagram. And then there were other students.
I think we should jump right into it, and let me just share my screen right here, and show
I've got
everybody.
everything opened in a dual screen. I can share my screen.
Oh yeah, that would be even better. I'll just intro it here. This is the type of work we're going to be looking at here. It's pretty awesome. Going like 30,000 feet out, like what show is this? And let me stop sharing, and you can share if you want to. But what is the show that we're talking about here? Like, what's the competition name?
The competition's name is called Fresh Wood. It's the Association of Wood Furnishing Supplier.
Okay.
And my first interaction with this show was, I think, when I was like in maybe the 10th grade. So Riverside, Southern California, is where I grew up. And let me go ahead and share my screen if I can remember how to do that after taking a summer off.
Freshwood. And that was in Vegas, July 20th, 23rd. So you just got back, basically.
Yes. How do I share my screen? I haven't run.
If it's Google, there's a little arrow that's pointing up. It's like a square with an arrow pointing up.
Yeah, since we were using Google Meet from the last school year, they changed the interface.
Oh, yeah, they totally changed it.
So yeah, we got to reinvent all that. Relearn and rediscover all that. So school year starting.
Oh, that's a book.
Yeah. So I'm a 10th grader. There are some students that were just so far more squared away than I was. And so they were making like low boys and buffets with hutches and just outrageous, like dining room sets. I don't know exactly what these students were doing.
Wait, Roy, what does this have to do with the book?
This is the book from the show. They used to put out a book. And
Really?
so my teacher had the book and he showed us the work.
Oh.
And so that's what I do. I have a set of these books. They no longer do the book, but that's just because of resources and time. And instead of doing a book, they're more involved with like Skills USA, the Society of Wood Manufacturing, other educational outreach. Instead of just putting a book together, which is incredible, right? You can buy this book for a couple bucks, but it used to be a student showcase yearbook. Right? It happens every other season. And this is my school didn't get into it in that year, right? We sent work that I thought was incredible. I still think it's incredible. If I could get students to make things, I would love to get to a hutch. I'd love to get to a low boy. There was a Sam Maloof rocking chair. I think the next year, I think like 2009 at Corona High School, there was a Sam Maloof rocking chair. Just incredible work. The competition was more steep inside of Freshwood at that time. And then there was the, economic downturn and things changed and, time passes and
Roy, do you have the book there with you?
Should have brought them home. I have them.
That's all right. But so basically they make a book out of the students' work and then they sell it?
They used to give it away. And that's why you can find it for $5 and $10 and $15.
This is awesome. Maybe I'll pick up one of these. I see it's only like $6.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to have a full set of these books. I think that if you're a woodworking teacher trying to chase this competition, the credibility that literature gives to the competition is incredible. My students completely understand what the competition is, right? Because I have the books.
That's a cool idea. I really like that.
So I started working with AWFS at career technical student organizations just because they needed some college students to watch miter box saws and table saws, make sure that 13, 14-year-old kids don't get hurt at a shop. And I don't mean to say it in a bad way, but a random shop. Because that's what it is, right? These technical organizations, they got to run contests wherever they can find saws. You had a question?
Oh, I don't know. No, me?
I saw someone's button pop up.
Oh,
So,
no. I mean, I
we
do have
a student showcase every year, but we do a county. I've submitted to the California State Fair, and then there's a national show.
Let me share my screen because I'm jumping around like catching all the stuff you're talking about. So it's kind of like active, Yeah, so let me show, because I see what you're showing here. It's pretty amazing. So they have like they got all this like they got a poster they give out. Here's the poster, and they show you like, okay, so it's Association of Woodturners. They got the software sponsor. They got all the projects. Wow, that's pretty cool, that thing right there. And then you can even download this,
They'll send it to you if you request it. They will absolutely send this to your program. You can hang it on the wall. Yeah, their outreach is very good.
I think Tim would kill it in this contest.
Yes. So what do you got to do to reach out to them to get the information?
So 2 different organizations. The AWFS Fair, the Association of Wood Furnishing Suppliers, has a turning organization, and I forgive me, I cannot remember the name of the contest off the top of my head. But her name is Tib Shaw. Tib Shaw is always looking for programs to showcase. It was unfortunate this past year. I just couldn't wrangle a graduated student's project. That's really what it came down to. I called mom. I called the kid. If I had known where he worked, I would have shown up at his work.
Who are you talking about?
Huh?
You couldn't. What couldn't you do?
I just couldn't get it back. I'm pretty possessive about student work, and so I don't usually give it back until after a student showcase. Because once mom gets it, why in the world would she give it back to me? It's probably in the living room.
Oh, you mean one of your students took something home that you thought was really good and you couldn't get it in the show?
I couldn't get it in the show.
But you did get stuff in the show, right?
Yeah, no, I did. I just wanted to also be in the turning show. So there's a female student.
I'm sorry. I didn't follow what you were saying. You did have a turning and you didn't get to enter it. Okay, I got you.
I did have a turning in the show 1 season ago, so 2 years ago. It's a biennial show, so it's every 2 years. There's also an East Coast show. Yeah, but it's the Association of Woodturners. They're out of Raleigh, North Carolina. They have an East Coast show too, but it's just turning. It's not furnishing suppliers.
That is like Timmy, like specialty.
You got to go to their show. They've got great educational outreach.
All right, I'm gonna put this in the chat with Tim. Damien said he has a similar show, though it's not a competition. It's a display of the best projects from year 12 industrial technology for that year. It's called InTech or something like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it so I can find a link for you.
Yeah, I really like this situation. So, as an educator, I think it's, first of all, getting out of the classroom and into a competition that's national, I think is one of the best things you could do for your career and for your students and for your school. So I really applaud you doing that, because there's a lot involved. There's your time involved, which you're not going to be paid for, like all the little things, right? And then there's traveling, and then you have to go down there, and then there's a lot of carrying of stuff and setting it up. So, you were there on your birthday. Oh my God! Happy birthday!
Yeah.
There's one coming up this year or next year in Atlanta, as far as I know. I think.
So that's the IWF show. It's every other year. They alternate years. So it got canceled this past year.
Yeah.
And it'll be on next year in August. It's just the first week of school for me. It happens like this week, but next year, maybe the 11th of August.
Timmy, you're gonna have to step it up. I'm seeing the competition here. Do you see this?
Oh, those are college kids. Those are college kids. If you go down, I can actually give you guys the link, maybe.
Oh, functional for use and open, so you could do whatever you want. Wow, that is cool. Yeah, I mean, Tim's working on this thing forever, and so he should have some sort of recognition. I mean, I think his stuff is pretty amazing. Just to show you real quick, it's, we got he's got this incredible work right here. Let's see.
Would you guys like to see this year's?
Oh, absolutely. Let me just show you Timmy real quick.
Oh, you don't have to show my work, my kids' work. Stop it.
This is just like one piece of it. All right. Well, we know. Like, look at this. That's amazing. I have no idea how you even do that. All right. So So show me, Roy. What do you got there?
So if I'm talking more about the, let me share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
The segmented turnings would be like right where the high school student work is. It's kind of intimidating sometimes to look at this showcase, only because the distinction between post-secondary and secondary is not obvious, right? Like, they don't put a big blue banner across student work and say, this is college, this is high school, right? They don't. So like this casework very well may be some design student out of RISD or something, right? But
can you click on one of those?
This is high school kid. So it's a really nice, delicate bowl. But there's like I think a ton of resin in there. I mean, it's certainly stabilized. I'm sure the teacher was involved. But it's very, very nice. Unfortunately, they didn't have a lot of high school entries this year. High schools were closed. Period.
Yeah.
So there were some of you guys that I was heckling about turning work, but I'm sorry I didn't heckle you about it.
That's okay.
Can you click on that? Can you click on that, Roy?
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, let's get in closer.
Any of them.
How about that number 11 one?
Yeah, crank it up, dude. Come on.
So again, off the top of my head, I don't know if this is high school or not.
Wow, look at that.
I wish I had grabbed the showcase flyer. They've got a really nice publication they put out. They give a whole bunch to students. I worked this show as the contractor. So like the person that's the coordinating between teachers and the convention. And so I have 2 years worth of autographed kids project, right next to their photo. But
Roy, keep clicking there. Yeah, there we go.
I think this
Ooh.
might be a high school student's work. I really do. But I don't know. I know this is a high school student's work. This was inside of the design for production. It got second place. The teacher made kits. I believe the students also made this table in the 9th or 10th grade. And then in the 11th grade, he sent home kits for them to make another table, right? And so, or no, this was distance learning. What's really nice is they receive all the packaging and they pay for the shipping, but not the shipping materials. And then they photograph them professionally. So there's a gentleman by the name of Alan Hart. You can find him on Instagram, Alan Hart Design. And he photographs everything. Now, this is really cool. There's another teacher. He's like the patron saint of distance learning. This is a Wood One kid that he did SketchUp with in distance learning, kitted out all of this dimensional lumber, and then the students came and picked him up. He made these little miter box saws and like handmade like hacksaw. He's a wizard. His name is Paul Lamb. And these are all individual. These are how many different projects he got done during distance learning, right? I got like a project.
I'm so confused. Are those full size or is that scale?
They're really small. Everything was made with a hand miter box saw.
Wow, it's unbelievable. Can you
And
scroll through that?
sandpaper, glued to wood.
Scroll through, baby. Keep it moving. We want to see detail.
This is college. And by the look of it, it's probably like North Bennett Street School.
Oh, yeah. That's up in Boston. That's a serious focused trade school. I know about them.
And what's hard is that you look at this, right? And if I don't tell you that it's post-secondary, you're like, oh, I have no business in this competition. No.
Look at the detail.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's wonderful, but it's it's not something that I have enough hair.
Look at the carved feet. Holy crap. Look,
it's got tiger stripes on it.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, they teach people how to rebuild pianos like from scratch. That's like a serious school. But this is awesome. So in other words, when you go to the show, your kids are in a category, but you're at the show with the best on the planet, like on the best in the, well, I guess in the continent.
So one thing I shared on my Instagram, I don't know how the audio is going to come through on this. There was a student named Mo, and that kid hustles so much so that this kid has shown up on my. Do you know when you go on Instagram and you go to that page where you're just like, I just want to look at random things for 20
I don't know
minutes?
anything about that.
Yeah, the kid was like number 5 on that like random page. I don't even know what it's called. So
sure,
put it
yeah.
on my
The
story.
search page is related to who you like. It's an algorithm.
It's a search page. It's a search page.
Yeah.
So Al Gore's Rhythm found this this video. Oh, it's not going to load. So this is just something I downloaded from my story. But this is probably my favorite part of the student showcase.
Would you say Al Gore's Rhythm? What is that? What's Al Gore's Rhythm? Oh, this is at the show.
So the audio is probably terrible about that. But what's really cool is there's like probably a crowd of like 15 or 18 people that are all from the show, right? All of them are vendors. And they're taking time out of their day to just just listen to this kid talk because they all loved woodshop, right? They all love shop class. Now there's this kid in shop class, and he makes this super cool chair. The still photos aren't going to do this kid justice, and the elegance in his project is in the design, right? And I don't mean design in aesthetics. I mean like the kid drafted for forever. And so hopefully I caught him making the project go flat and then him pulling the project apart, because that's how it goes. But
now, what do you mean?
again,
Like
the reason I was
it's a
filming this is like
transformer?
he's interacting with like, a dozen people, advocating for his project, talking about the design details, like all the things that are like, I don't know, what is that, fourth tier, knowledge, drawing conclusions, like entertaining any idea that comes at him in relation to his project. Very, very
That's
cool.
way too scientific for me.
But you know, when a kid like geeks out on the work in your class and
Yeah.
talks to someone about it, that was like, I don't know, to the tens.
That's awesome, man.
The best part of me, I mean, especially with woodworking and having the kids in class, the best part of that is when another kid walks up to say said project, like, so say some kid made this thing and another kid just doesn't know him, says, did you make that? And then the kid that made that thing just starts going off on it, like explaining what they did and how they did it. Like that is like the ultimate, teacher mode of like proudness that you love. And it's nice to see that. And that usually will happen, maybe not every year, but every other year you get that one kid that happens with. And it's like, it's that teacher moment that's like holy, like the holy grail, and I understand what Roy's talking about, like that kid talking about his chair. And I had that happen a little bit this year. It didn't go as much as I thought it would when the kid made the display case, so it is cool. I understand what you're saying there. And then especially when you have like wood geeks, if you will, come in and they're talking about it and checking it out. I get it.
I wish I had gotten a photo of this and I didn't have the perspective to see what I saw. So it's the last day of the show for my student, and he disappeared the whole day, right? He's an adult, he graduated. And so I see him at the end of the day, and he's got like shoulders of swag and a freaking table. Like, so at some vendor somewhere, just some CNC vendor, he made a table, right? So it's like, what conversations happened? What introduction to knowledge that I just don't have either the capacity in space, in patience, in money, whatever it is, right? Now we're at this national, woodworking convention, which I'm showing you the showcase, right? It's not a showcase. It's not a student showcase. It's the National Furniture Association convention, right? It's the cabinet and millwork show. It's there's probably 25,000 square feet of surface sanders. Like, it is large format nested cell router, for industry, right? The places making, hotel room vanities, right? For, the Hilton, right? And I mean Hilton West Coast, right? They're just shipping everything, making everything, installing everything. That's what the show is. The show is not for high school furniture students.
Wait, what do you mean Hilton? Is that Hilton Hotels?
Yeah, like these are like if I go to, this is the main
trade
vendor
show for cabinet machinery, industry level, woodwork.
So
That's
this
what
is the main vendor. SCM is an Italian woodworking conglomerate, right? They just buy everybody. And then they take the things that work best from some companies, and then they integrate design, reformat, redistribute, tailor things together so that you have these large systems. Because the reality, at least where I teach, is that the labor doesn't exist. And it doesn't exist for a lot of different reasons, right? So if you're going to produce this, cabinet and millwork or this case goods, man, it's got to be that one guy upstairs is project managing, designing, and manufacturing on the floor, where 7 or 11 people like him used to be on the floor. Well, now he's 80% of the time up in his office, managing a cabinet vision library and working with the person doing the bid. So what's really cool about this setup, oh, I guess I don't have these pictures. I have to go to.
Wait, let me understand. You're saying, what do you mean by the labor doesn't exist? Can you back up and just explain what you mean?
So in my valley, there are 2 schools with table saws in them. And I think I'm the only one that teaches kids how to use it.
Oh, you just mean like there's just not enough people doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
The labor doesn't exist. And
Yeah,
so we
yeah,
have to automate.
Oh yeah, this is like number one problem with most places in the world right now is that, especially in the US, they got rid of most of the shop classes. That was half the reason, we started the shop class podcast, because we wanted to get good ideas to spread among the shop teachers, make the people that are actually doing it stronger by sharing ideas. Like, for instance, Timmy, if you enter this contest, it's not for next year, it's the year after, 2023. He could win it. I mean, he's got some great talented he's got a great program, and then he's got great kids coming up probably. So 100%. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, yeah, there's just not enough shop classes. So yeah, sorry. I wanted to clarify that. I didn't know what you meant.
Well, the other thing is that a lot of us shop teachers feel like we're on an island, and
Right.
there's maybe you connected with a school near or close to you. That's about it that you have a reference to. But past that, there's no other option. And when back in March, when everybody said, "Hey, we're going to go virtual," it was like, "Oh crap, what are we going to do for shop class?"
Mm-hmm.
So,
And look at all the connections that are made. I mean, even on the side businesses and the side projects, the teachers, for instance, Tim, you went up to see, Justin and Jim and Duresta and all those people up there. And that's a great way to keep the fire alive and keep the shop teachers that are doing it, keep it going. And this contest here is one of the great things. And so I'm real glad that Roy is showing us this. This is cool.
So this is what, so that when I say the main vendor, like the badges are branded with them. The first page or the first 10 pages are them. And they just offer a solution that is integrated, right? So you've got this boring machine, and I don't know if it's their boring machine or not, but I mean, man, this machine knows what pieces or case good parts are coming through. And because you don't have that labor, you don't have, 10 people to run this equipment. It's probably one guy. And that guy is this guy, running this entire room. And everything's, labeled off the machines. There's a robot with a vacuum that's picking up inventory, bringing it over to the nested router, setting it down. It's feeding itself in. It's feeding out. The dowels have glue already on them. The machine cuts the hole and spits water in the hole and then feeds the dowel in, because that's where we are, right? We don't have someone to hammer dowels in with glue, not because it's just not that profitable to have someone do that, but because there isn't someone to do that. And so I thought they were interested in brand recognition, but no, there's also no techs. There are no technicians to maintain this equipment. And our students, they understand where a chip is being created, or where something is melting, or where something might be fusing through some sort of process, right? And with all this automation, if our students really do understand the building blocks of the manufacturing process, they are primed to be a technician, right? Because they already know how sawdust is made, right? You've got all these automatic sanders, right? But does anybody know why the sanding pad is wearing out? My kids do.
Right.
I'm shouting about it.
Yeah, that's a really interesting, Roy. Another thing I want to add, let's say a parent was listening to this and they're hearing a bunch of shop teachers say, hey, your kid should be a technician. But they should also keep in mind, I always want to remind people that if you're a technician working at a new automation company and you end up as a full-time employee, you might get stock options. So imagine if you started as a a Tesla technician 10 years ago and you got stock options, you would be a millionaire today. So, it's not just the labor. It's not just that, oh, we want you to get a job. It's that this is the future, and knowing how things actually go together is worth a lot of money if you play your cards right. So it's not just, and also, what about the engineer that designs that system? So robots are here to stay. They're only going to be more prolific. Evidence of that is really easy. So even if someone said, oh, there's no robots, well, when was the last time you drove a stick shift car? I drive a stick shift car, but I'm like, I'm old school. And most people drive an automatic transmission. Well, that's automation right there. What about a dishwasher in your house? So, automation is here, whether people like it or not. And so, but you do need people to be on the ground first to understand how it works. And then they could then move up the ladder pretty quickly. If you learn how to operate these machines, you could be an engineer or a technician, or sell them, or invest in the company. So there's so many opportunities, not just, he's a shop kid, so he knows how the wood burns or whatever, like there's more to it, and I'm just reminding anybody who's listening to this that there's so much more to the story, and it starts with the application. It starts with the shop class. Do you actually know how to make something? That's a very important question. Yeah. What's the name of this company that you're showing us?
This is the association. This is the organization putting on the fair. This is just their social media.
Okay. And
they have a few different social medias. They have one that's the showcase specific. It's called Fresh Wood, of course.
But what's the name of that company that you're giving us a tour of just before?
Association of Wood Furnishing Suppliers.
Okay. All right. Wow. That's pretty interesting.
If you guys would like to see the showcase floor, I have that open right here.
Yeah, bring us to the floor. Let's see what happened.
So these are the judges. What's cool is they pick judges from industry, right? And then they invite them to the showcase.
Can you zoom in somehow?
Huh? Oh, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, you could zoom in.
Sometimes it'll be that the judge has been in the student showcase before. I think that might be the case with this judge. I know that she's an alumni at a program that used to exist in Atlanta, or maybe still does exist in Atlanta. What's cool is that you have them like completely engaging with the piece, and then like arguing about judging details. Like a lot of care goes into judging. There was only 22 pieces this year. There were 42 or 44 last season, just because of the size and scope and everything, kind of being drawn back a little bit. But man, it's like 4 hours of judging.
It's awesome. They look like they're having fun. It's a cool looking chair that she's sitting on. Oh, that's a nice handmade guitar.
Yeah, they really engage with the student showcase. It's an incredible student showcase.
Wow. You go back. Oh, look at that. That chair has flexible wood, right? Is that the reason it's got that pattern?
So it's the design for production. The parameters are on their
flat pack.
But further, it has to be made out of a certain amount of materials. It has to have certain processes. It's got to use a certain style of software. It doesn't have to be a brand, right? KCD supports the contest, and if you're in this contest in that category, you get free KCD software. But you don't have to use their software in order to compete.
This is awesome. Sorry to interrupt you. This is awesome. I really like the challenge of, you're limiting supplies or limiting production methods, because when I was in college, we had to make a flat pack chair, and that is challenging. That is very challenging, and like stackable flat. And I did it actually out of honeycomb with plastic ABS on the outside, polypropylene, honeycomb in the middle. And you could do a lot of creative things with that. But imagine doing that with wood, getting things to hinge and turn and flat pack, or made from one process. That's incredible engineering done by students. Unbelievable. And now, as you go through, like, do you recognize where these are from?
There's certainly during judging, these blue placards are not up.
Oh, I see.
So the only
nobody
thing that
knows.
the judges have to go on is this poster. I would say that that's the key to doing well in this showcase, because every teacher is willing to support a student's growth. It's not fair that I will let students work in my shop at 7 in the morning, right? That's not fair. It's not fair, and someone in my union would be pissed if they found out there were 12th graders working in my prep, right? I'm sure they would try and squash that. That's cheating, right? And so good, honest cheating, like I bought a pre-made round for drums, plywood, right? And I cut it off to make the top for my project. I didn't manufacture that panel, right? That's good, honest cheating. If you say that you bought it and you had to set up a jig to make a cut, cool. That's how they would do it in industry. In industry, they would order the doors, they'd order the drawers, they'd order all the hardware, they'd make a box, and then somebody else would spray it.
But let me understand. You're saying on the poster, you have to be honest about how you arrived at your design. So you're saying, like,
construction.
What?
At your construction. It can be not your design.
Oh, I see. Okay, so how you made the thing, basically, whether you designed it or not. This is not the question. And so you say, now when you say a barrel, a roll? I'm not familiar with that. Maybe Timmy can help me. I don't know much about the wood. No, you're saying like the plywood comes in a roll? Gonna answer by showing me.
I can't remember the name of the vendor, but you can order like a Tom or oh man, it's been a really long time since I was in drum class. But you can order dimensional rounds in plywood.
Really?
Yeah, because they make drums. You could, if a kid really wanted to, you could buy a kit to make a hi-hat.
Oh.
And then they would do all of the wood shop. And like, is that what I want for a kid? Maybe, depending on the kid, depending on the time frame that we have, depending on their interest, right? Like if I really truly am going to get like the best veneered drum set out of this kid, because that's where their heart is, right? Well, then yeah. But if we're just making a class set of hi-hats, maybe not. If one student wants to make the band teacher some stuff, oh, okay, well that's completely different, because that kid's been in band for 4 years. He's been in my class for 4 years. Okay, I can rationalize this. But we send that to the show. It's different if the student has engineered and manufactured a round versus if they've purchased it and cut it to length.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And admitting what you've done, I just didn't even know that was a available possibility.
I really kind of do want to make these cajones. It's nothing crazy. There's a snare drum.
What is that?
It's a snare drum.
Oh.
It's got a plywood face. It's a plywood box. You sit on it and you go like this. It's just a box drum.
You freaking hippie. So
I think kids would dig on it. I think they would like it.
No, that's awesome. I want to go down to bring it down to Ocean Beach, baby.
The other thing is, like, a lot of cabinet shops don't even make their own doors anymore. Like, they just order them out. They're just like, all right, here's my drawers. Here's my doors. Here's my drawer faces. Like, they don't even make them anymore. They just buy them. It's cheaper because the cabinet shop doesn't have to set up the time and the machinery to buy, to make the raised panel or make the face frame for that thing. It's easier to make the case because they're set up for that.
Wow, what's that one? Oh, can you go back one?
My colleague ended up doing that at his house. He was building his house, and he built all the the carcasses, and then he subcontracted out the face frames and doors for his kitchen cabinets out to Illinois, I think.
Yeah.
It was shipped from Illinois to New York, and for him to build it.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the cabinet shop I worked at. That's what they did. They don't make the doors, like the actual doors. They buy them.
Well,
Boy,
it
what's going
also
on there?
comes to design, right? You can offer so many different lines of design if you're willing to have your door and drawer fronts out of house, right?
Yeah.
There's a company that just makes doors and drawers for IKEA cabinets. So you buy your IKEA cabinets, you're not happy with them in a short period of time. And then you go to this guy and all you buy is doors and drawers, right? He's got the color matching, he's got everything that you want, but translated into a new style. So you get this facelift in your kitchen for probably a third of the cost. You have to do all the installation. So it probably doesn't look that great at all. But, it's IKEA cabinets. The whole idea is that everything goes together really well. So it probably goes together a lot better than you would think that the novice can pull off.
That's cool. It's interesting. I mean, why not? It's like specialty. Makes sense. You're trying to serve the customer or your end goal. So if you can get it, I mean, like I'm designing a product right now. I'm using tubes as some of the welded parts to my frame. Like I'm not going to bend up the sheet for that. I'll just buy the tube and cut it. What's going on here? This looks really cool. It's like deconstructive, like, wow, I don't even know what's happening there. What is that? A bench or something?
I think it's a coffee table. I have no idea. The show is very big.
It says table.
Yeah, even at how small the showcase could be compared to previous years, man, interacting with every piece, I don't even remember.
Look, Roy, this is what you got to do. Click on it and then zoom and then scroll in. Is that? There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas here. That's freaking cool. And it's got little inlays. Are those glass or is it see-through?
I think that it's see-through. I don't believe there's glass. I think that it's some sort of lattice or some sort of maybe they're half lats. I have no idea. This is a college student.
What award is that? What's the white one? Honorable mention.
On the spot. Maybe it's first place.
Looks like honorable mention to me.
I don't know.
That's
let's see what the other one is. I think we got second place. I think we got red.
Here you go. Zoom out. Now you're back. Good.
So the other thing is, like, I want to know what they actually put on the paperwork there that's above it.
Zoom in.
Like what are they?
Mine.
Like, what are they explaining on there?
I could show you mine.
Let's see it. Let's go to it.
Okay.
Got to teach Roy how to use Google.
Like when I went to college, the big thing was documentation and everything. And, like all that stuff, like what do you put on these that inspires people to, look at?
There we go.
Oh yeah. 100% walnut. The top shelves, slides, molding face frame, and door frames are all luminous. What is it?
Hey, I can read too, just so you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a jerk, but I actually didn't even read it. I don't. Yeah.
Luminous.
I care a lot about the kid. I just didn't have the energy at the end of last year. And so when it showed up printed, I gave him a high five. I thought it looked great. And then I moved on.
You just outed yourself. That's it.
To be honest.
I like the balance. I like the good balance of serif and sans serif fonts.
There you go.
That's me. I mean, I'm into that kind of stuff too. So
that's cool.
Special techniques. This is pretty cool.
It looks like a one-page version of a folio. Like I'm taking the best parts out of my folio.
Yes. So we build a product binder, right?
Yeah.
So like if I zoom out, see if it'll let me. I go to the bottom. So like this is where we start off.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of hand drafting. We're not going to the tens, right? Because we just need dimensions. We need something that we can work off of. So we use this oblique, right? Because the student can rationalize a face frame. If we're doing anything more complicated than that, we'll do a full-size drawing, right? If there's angles or really, like we're going to land at dimensions that aren't whole numbers or easily digestible in language fractions, right? Like if everything is like 3/4, a quarter, a whole inch, right? Well, then this will be fine. The scale is easy. But
Hey,
if we're
let's
gonna
see that
be-
drawing. Zoom in. That is awesome. That's
so
really
the
well
oblique
done.
is just a 45 or 30-degree angle out the back. I'm pretty certain that this student has had a full-size drawing, especially after we put the face frame on, because we got a plan for the doors, and I don't want to cut undersized doors.
What is the cove cut?
Okay, so if you look at this molding, the student made it themselves. So there's like a big bullnose that's in solid walnut. There's a cove and then a flat. It's all 6 or 8/4 walnut. It took a long time. He set it up on the table saw. I think I got at least one picture of that somewhere. I wish he put that on his poster. I don't know why he didn't. Because, you know, if you've done a cove cut for the first time, it's harrowing, right?
The only reason I saw that is because he mentioned that nothing was manufactured. He made everything, and that the most difficult part was the cove cut. So I wanted to know what that was.
The cove cut, you run your board over the top of the saw blade of the table saw at an angle, and you do it in several sweeps, so it slowly sort of cuts that rounded.
I've never
edge
done
in
that. I've actually never done that.
It's dicey, but you can get some really good finishes.
You put it in there and you cut it here, near. Then you cut it. Then you go like this, near.
No, like here's the.
Like this one.
Oh, there it is. That middle
Here's
bit.
the blade, and
Is
instead
it
of
on the
going,
picture?
instead
go
of
to
doing
the-
this, you're doing this.
Second row, third one in.
Oh.
This one?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's it.
that looks
No.
like it. Or is he just working on the bench?
Yeah, he's just working on the bench. That was actually a wood 2 project. Here we go.
Oh.
No, it's okay.
So you
I'm
actually
a little bit of
So you
lag
kinda
right
got-
now. It's
You got
coming.
the
It's gotta go
saw
to San
blade.
Jose first.
There it is.
Oh
So
wow!
the
So you
fence goes
go-
across the saw at an angle, and you
You're at-
slowly raise the blade up on several passes, and you're sort of putting pressure against the side of the blade like this way instead of going across it as a cut.
What's
and
that
it's
piece
basically-
called that has the little fingers that stops it from going backwards?
Featherboard.
Featherboard, yeah.
That is cool, man.
Yeah,
Nice
I've never
work.
done that. I have to do that once. I have to do that.
That
I
is
made a
cool.
circle on a table saw once. Oh,
I do that with my kids.
Yeah,
I do that.
Yeah,
With
well, students aren't allowed to touch the table saw at our schools. So,
Oh yeah. I have a lot of respect for you guys working on the table saw with the students. I work with the welder with the students, which is electricity and fire and like 2,700 degrees. And I could do that comfortably without looking. And I still think the table saw is crazy to me.
Roy, does the trim go all the way around the back too of that? Did it?
No, it's a case piece that goes against the wall.
So it terminates on the back?
Yeah, and
Okay.
we leave it proud. One thing is you've got to ship it, right? And that's where some students and teachers make mistakes. We were coating it after we had put it on the base with the skids because it does need to get shipped, right? And so for like you, Tim, if you're talking about a turning, right? Maybe that's more manageable, but I would still overbuild it. Go ahead and I can't zoom in if I want to advance forward. So like this is, well, but it's just a palette. I would say that that's probably the second most important thing, because if it gets damaged on the way there, they won't judge it harshly, right? Because the judges can tell. Right? You can tell if a screw came loose in the pallet and then scratched the project, right? But you'd rather it not happen. There was a student from New Jersey that showcased 2 seasons ago, and that's what it was. A screw came loose on the side of the case, like the freight packaging, and then just scribbled all over his chair.
Oh man.
Right. And what was cool is that Mohawk came out, the vendor, and showed him how to do touch up and repair, and they fixed the piece on the show floor. It was a great interaction for the kid. The kid learned how to deal with loss and, resource the recovery and fix it. Totally awesome. It would have been better if it didn't happen, right? Because that kid showed up at a national show and felt like his project. But the kid did pretty well with it. Putting the project on the side of the package is probably a pretty good idea. My pallet doesn't look like it got shipped. It looks really good. I wish I had taken a picture of it today. It got back 2 days ago.
That's the one thing that bothers me is like how, displaying the piece at the show is no problem. All that stuff. It's that logistical stuff, like building the pallet, preparing it for shipping, and getting it to the shipper. Paying for that. All of that
that would be covered by the everything except the materials is covered by the show.
So if you're going to enter, they're going to pay for all that.
The shipping.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shipping.
I used the Baltic birch. I could have used something cheaper. I did for the top. The top is it's not cheap, but it was an offcut that was like the perfect size, and so in that way it was free. If we look at it, if you look right here, the kid made a mistake cutting plywood, and we just used it because hey, it's not going to my house, and I'm not going to waste Baltic birch. This stuff's super expensive. I could have cheaped out on material, and the material, the project is insured. So if something does happen, the project is insured. They will pay out on it. But man, there's only, this kid's, family, they only have one 11th grade project for that kid, right? He's got a whole bunch of brothers, so, it'll work out. But man, I would rather spend the money in the material than deal with this material could take a punt from a forklift, I think that if we put it on the ground and we crashed a fork into it, it'd probably be fine, I think.
It's awesome. It's awesome. A lot of effort went in. I could see you really care about your kids, in the projects. You're a great teacher, man. This is awesome.
What was the idea of putting the picture of the project on it? What was the reasoning behind that?
It's just some 22-year-old with a forklift. Everybody likes wood shop. And if you're driving a forklift, you probably like shop class. And that's not because forklift drivers are bad people. But I know how to drive a forklift, and you probably know how to drive a forklift. And, if I was moving a high school kids project and I realized it, on one of the sides, I wrote, "This is a high school kids project." Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I would probably slow down, I would think high school kids project. Let me slow down. I cannot push this with.
Wait, how'd it go?
Actually, I've never driven a forklift.
You should try it. It's a lot of fun.
Never
so much power. It's like 6,000 pounds of concrete driving at 12 miles an hour.
I did drive one of those telehandlers once.
Oh, these guys?
The big one with the big wheels and the big one that extends out. I've driven one of them because I was mowing a property and my lawnmower got stuck between a gully like this, and it got wedged in. I went down a gully and I got caught. And what and I was like, crap, both of the rear wheels on the lawnmower were spinning, so I couldn't get traction to get it off. So I actually went over and grabbed the telehandler, extended the telehandler up over the forklift, and then lifted it up and then pulled it back out. So that was my only forklift experience I've ever driven. So
Yeah, they're cool. They're definitely cool.
but that's a good idea to put the project on it so that, you know, number one, you can identify, number one, what that case goes to, and then number two, what's inside of it.
Yeah, they give you a student project number. So ours was FW04. So every piece of material, including the blanket, it said FW04. I put extra screws, not because I thought that I would need them, but ultimately when we went to ship, I had to countersink and drive some more screws.
All right, Damien. Thanks for joining us. Damien's got to run. Thanks a lot. All
See
right,
you,
give us an update. Let us know what happens next week about the situation. All right.
Good luck.
Roy, how many projects did you bring?
So I had intention to submit 6 projects. That doesn't mean that I thought I knew 6 projects would get done. This was an 11th grade project. The student graduated this year. I had to borrow, cheat, and steal to have him in the shop. At one point, he wasn't enrolled at our district. Because that was the only way I could have him in the class.
So 6, you said?
Yeah. So there were 2 chairs.
Can we see all 6
2
projects?
case pieces and 2 projects on the lathe.
Do you have the projects there we could see?
Yeah, I've got some.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, it's pretty incredible. 6 projects. That's a lot, especially during.
So I don't know which photos these are, but this is where we got. This is upside down. This is where we got the project design for this kid's project. I don't know how I'm going to find those. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it that way.
I've been getting into Art Deco lately. I'd love to do like an Art Deco project. That'd be cool.
I don't know where the final project photos for this kid's project are.
Now,
That's
did
all
he
right.
not submit it because he didn't finish, or did he not submit it because he just didn't want to?
I couldn't get a hold of this butthead. He watches all of my Instagram stories.
Don't you love that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the inconsistent logic of the teenage brain. Yeah, that's
I don't think
typical.
he finished his portfolio. We left school in March, right? And so I took this student on a really cool field trip that I showed you guys a moment ago. The project got done. I took photos in preparation to submit, and then I don't think we took photos after it was coded.
Are we looking at a student-made portfolio right now?
Yeah, but it's almost done, right? So he's written all of the things in the right order, but it's not beautiful.
You put this in slides, is that right?
Yeah, I found that the kids already knew how to use it.
So I do something similar where I require them to make a blog and then post the blog on LinkedIn.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, so we have something in common there. I think all teachers should be doing that because you want them to be publicly showing their work so they could share it with their family, obviously, but then also it could grow from there. If a kid really wanted to, let's say shine as a woodworker, maybe the LinkedIn, or I guess if they did it on their Instagram, that'd be fine, but it just seems a little more professional on LinkedIn and on Blogger that they could share their work. So what I have them do is I actually grade them on whether they completed it or not, like how many photos they completed it with on the writing, but I don't really care what the project looks like. As long as the photos are good, that's how I judge them. That's all right about this one. So that's
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So this was coated with boiled linseed oil.
Oh, very nice.
It's a very similar project to.
You want to zoom in for us?
Yeah.
I like the zoom, I'm into it.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Oh, that's cool.
So lots of things are already pre-finished, right? The spindle was already completely done. And then depending on how much time we had, right, the top could be, like slightly more difficult or, just a big cutting board.
Yeah. That's great. And they get to take this home?
Yeah, so this is home. I sent him home with more than enough finishing materials to buff it out. He was good at that. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it just wasn't as shiny as he thought that I expected it to be, right? I have no idea.
So this didn't make it to the show?
No, I didn't even submit it because I couldn't get it back.
And what other projects did you have?
So last season was this project. So this student submitted where it was a very similar spindle base, although the legs were attached differently.
Oh, so you only submitted one this year. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, now I understand. I got you.
Yeah, it's
Very
been
cool.
tough going.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can only imagine. I can't even, we tried to make a car on virtual this year. We could barely even finish that. I don't know how you even got any piece of furniture done at all.
It was already done. I try and get my projects done by February or March. That's my goal. And if a student is moving on, well then good. We're going to pull way too much material, right? And then in the 12th grade, when counseling says there's no room in your schedule for the wood shop, mom's pissed because she's got $150 worth of walnut, locked up in my shop.
This is an interesting technique. I never thought about that. That's pretty sneaky, Roy.
Yeah, I learned it from my high school woodshop teacher. Every year I got put into Spanish, and then my mom would come and freak out. Oh, I've got a coffee table. Oh, I've got a bookcase. Oh, I got a box of drawers, because I was already in the project, so. That's
great. I like that. Financially committing them. Very cool. Awesome, man. A little virtual reality there. Why not?
It's a spray booth.
Oh,
so
no way.
You can see where their coverage is.
What? That's awesome.
This show is where it's at.
Really?
Oh, you've seen the virtual welders, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same idea.
That's awesome. Wow, this is so cool. So, and what other projects, did you ever, any other projects from this year, even though if they didn't make it?
I'm trying to think of the best place that I can find and show them.
Oh, okay.
We were just on our phones so much already that the last 18 months, I just really haven't posted anything.
Don't even worry about it.
What about
now? Where was the show? Las Vegas Convention Center?
Yeah, the brand new convention center. I totally
You're kidding.
whiffed.
Did you go on the board? Did you go in the Boring Company? Did you take a ride in a Tesla?
I whiffed.
But it's operational or no?
It is.
Get out. You could drive a Tesla through a tunnel down there?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I was so disappointed.
I got to get down to Vegas. That's insane.
It was the first thing before I was even on the show floor. I went and posted about it, and then I did not make time for it.
SEMA's coming up. I'm going to register for that. You can go as an educator.
I didn't know this. Even if you're woodshop? Probably.
Yeah, why not? They're not checking on you. Yeah, they're not checking.
Where's SEMA at? Vegas?
Las Vegas Convention Center. It's basically every aftermarket automotive company that has is being aggressive and trying to win, they're going to be there. So including Hot Wheels with their entire full-size collection. Full-size meaning the actual car that the little Matchboxes or whatever the little Hot Wheels is based on. It's an enormous show. It would take you could be there for a week and you won't see everything. So
I want to go to CES.
Yeah, that's the same spot. That would be a big
deal. That's on my bucket list. I want to go there.
That's all the tech, all the tech. I bet you they're gonna have VR and automation and AI. Oh my God. Augmented reality. Probably Matterport is probably there. It's probably where they launched. Unbelievable. This is so cool. I got to get me one of these bow tie t-shirts. This is serious.
So Roy,
I
let me
told you about the bow
Yeah,
tie.
where's your wood bow tie, Roy?
Oh, yeah.
Your wood bow tie that I saw everybody else wearing.
You know, I have one. I have no idea. So I did a presentation with my cabinet and board while I was there, and I posted about that. Let's see if I can find that really quickly.
This is pretty cool. So, Timmy, you gonna register for this thing? Fresh wood.
No, you want to do the turning contest, and that's the
turning.
Association of Wood Turners, and the contact is Tib Shaw. It does the chat inside the video, right?
Chat? Probably not, but you can go ahead and. I mean, yeah, I can click on it if you add it. Oh yeah, he'll see that. Yeah, he sees it. Well, this is great. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, I think it's great what you're doing. Now, how did you get down there? Did you guys drive?
So yeah, we're only about 3 hours away. I think it took us about 3 hours and 15 minutes to get there.
Wow, that's like
we're
nothing.
really close. We went off of the circuit schedule or the traffic schedule. We went out on a Tuesday. We came back on a Saturday, I think. So that's not.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Now who did the school hook up the hotel and stuff like that, or no?
So the organization usually pays for 2 nights for both the teacher and student separately. The student can have one chaperone. That doesn't mean the student can't have more than one chaperone, right? You can shove as many people as you want in the hotel room, but they're only paying for the one. So yeah, the turning show does not have the same budget for travel, right? So they reimburse up to I think $350 in travel. They'll cover the hotel room at a rate that you can't get, right? And so I was able to book the room for I think it was like $100 or something like that a night.
Nice.
But it's a really good room, really close to the convention center. Like I just walked in air conditioning the whole way to the convention center, which is an amazing thing when it's 115 outside. I was there they only covered one night. I was there for 4 or 5 nights. It was 330. So did I need to be there that much? Yeah. Who else is going to crate up my student project at the end? I didn't need to be there. Somebody would have done it. I've done it for other students that weren't there in the past. There's a lot of care that goes into it. So if you cannot do that or you cannot afford to do that because of whatever reason, know that someone of quality and high character and care will be putting it back together inside your crate. But that was important to me. The wood turning showcase, I sold pretty heavily to my board and cabinet, and so they paid for it. This year was far cheaper, and so there was the same amount of support.
That's cool. So students that are in a woodworking or design program, post-secondary, a degree in wood. Jeez. Wow. And then projects are 10 per school, 2 per student. Wow. At least 50% wood or composite, except for pieces in the open category and upholstery pieces may have a higher percentage. Oh, I see. Projects must be built between certain dates. Project construction. Project may be lacking in finished coating. If selected as final, it must be completely finished in the time for shipment. So what do? You send photos to get accepted? Is that what happens?
Yeah, you saw how those photos that were on white paper for that walnut piece I didn't enter?
Yeah.
It was finished, it was completed, but the finish was not completed. I took those photos knowing that I could submit them and they would not be judged harshly because of it. Right?
Sure.
Like, the contest entry is in May. The show is not until shipping is not until June, right? So, the student might need time. They only get an hour a day, 3 and 5 times a week, like give them a break. So that would have been fun.
I really
Ron, I know you were asking me a question, and I was in the process of relocating my position in my house. I want to go there. I want to go there. My buddy Nick and I decided that we were going to go, but it's a matter of, trying to figure out when it is. And I said something to him, and I said, "Hey, did you know that this was going on this year?" And he said, "No." So it was one of those that, we want to go. I want to go just to check it out 1 year first, and then enter the kids in it. I hate
But that's
to have,
4 years down the line.
No, I know, but the thing is, like, I'm very visual. I need to see, like, I want to see what the convention's like. I want to see what all that stuff is. I want to see,
I
the
get it.
setup.
It's overwhelming because I went in 2017 and we just happened to be out in Vegas and I, looking at things to do and, oh, this is going on. I like woodworking. And at that point I was looking for a machine, belt sander or whatever. So I'm like, we'll try, and, got in for free for educational discount and whatever. It is overwhelming and I didn't even know anything about the student end of it. And then seeing that, it's like, wow, like, seeing it from that perspective, it was very interesting.
Yeah, I would feel comfortable right now. I would feel comfortable entering the kids' work into the Wood Magazine Wood Show that comes around here every once in a while. I would feel comfortable entering a kid into that now. But this is a whole other level because you're shipping stuff across the country. You got to worry about room and board. You got to worry about getting the thing there and all that stuff. It's, even though you're not physically responsible for that, but you still have that. You still, as soon as that thing ships to your shop, you're worried about it until the day it gets back to your shop. And then having kids involved and having parents involved and not knowing the layout and not knowing the situation and the seminars and the show floor and all that. Like, I would feel like I would have a disadvantage if they would ask me any questions. Like, so what else is there to do? I don't know. I've never been there, and I hate to have that in my back pocket. I always want to be able to be prepared.
In Vegas is very overwhelming, but let me tell you, there's no lack of something to do.
Well, it's not
show-wise. I know I walked around for 7 hours and I still didn't get to the whole show. Like, it's jam-packed full of, all of these different companies, and most of it again is at the industry end of it, but there is some consumer end stuff that you'd be able to partake in.
Yeah, I just want to have a background, like, knowledge on the whole show before I start putting kids' work into it, just so that I know.
Nope, you have to.
Right, weren't they doing this a year in Vegas and then the consecutive year down in Florida, or the other year, or was that a different
show? Roy said, was IWF or something?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people on site that are very invested in the student showcase. There's a showcase contractor. There's an educational director. There's a educational whatever's below a director. There are teachers that are veterans that have been there before. I didn't feel differently than you did. You do, Tim. And so I worked on getting hired as the showcase contractor, and so that's probably cheating. But we only got second place, so at least cheating only got me that far. The Society of Wood Manufacturing is a lot of the educational coordination people that volunteer locally with that organization. They have a booth and they're very invested in teachers and education. WCA is very involved. Skills USA is very involved. Pitt State They're very involved. So there's a lot of education that is there that you could prepare to have contacts on the ground before you went. And then all of the shipping, all of the everything. They supply PDFs and guides. They're available. They have an education department, right? So they're available for, incessant, redundant questions because they don't have, I don't think there are that many new teachers every year. Maybe not every program has the ability to participate every year, but lots have done it before. There's enough room for a new teacher.
You could also partner with maybe a local college that's going as well. What can you get a list of people that go every year, or is there a way to do that, Roy?
I would contact Tim Shaw, and then if you really did want to get a foot on the ground, I would go to her
What's her name?
I think it's Raleigh, North Carolina. How far are you from that? I don't know, America.
He's probably 10 hours, maybe.
10 hours. That's closer than Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegas. Yeah, Vegas is probably like 2 days driving.
Wood turning.
Oh,
Instead of woodworking.
So
So I think it's in Raleigh, North Carolina. They have Shaw Floors. What was the name of it? National Wood something or other.
TIP, not TIP.
Got it. Thank you.
B as in boy.
And use TIB.
Got it.
Yeah, woodturner.org.
Boom.
So
Her
second
right here.
from the right, third from the left.
Yeah. There we go.
Big educational advocate, really accessible. We'll contact you, 3 times to say, are you sure you can't get it? Because they really do want to showcase student work, especially high school student work, because college, craft school, adults, right? They have a lot of opportunities to showcase.
I mean, Tim, even if you don't go, this looks like a lot of people involved with wood turning.
Yeah.
Do you know this? Are you aware of this outfit?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I'm not a member of them.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, you don't have to be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of like, yeah, like I'm into automotive and welding and machining, but I'm not in SAE. I'm not in Society of Welding Engineers or what, you know what I mean? Like I just focus on the students and helping them. But now that I'm more into contests, then I start to join some things like the Shell Eco Marathon, and I'm looking for SAE and Society of Welding Engineers, I think is an important one, so I'm starting to reach out more, which is helpful. I think contests are helpful. So I started doing little contests, and then interior contests, and now I'm trying to do exterior contests. They have virtual events.
Funny thing was I just went on my Instagram and I looked. I wasn't even following them.
Yeah, this is helpful, Roy, showing us this, because you kind of like give us exposure, even though, we're not down in Vegas with you. That's the point of the Shop Class podcast. Just share the exposure that you're getting.
One of the things that that's parallel to this, there was at my high school wood shop, there were these like photo albums, and it was like 1968 through to my project. So like you go and you grab the oldest photo album and you open it, and there's like a overcab camper that a kid made in 72. He did all the cabinet making inside the camper. It's on like some C20 or something.
Awesome.
Beautiful. And then you like turn the next page and there's a picture of the truck on its side, and you're like, yo. So there's like just 30 years worth of projects with, like kids standing next to the project. being able to show a kid what excellence is, even if that excellence doesn't exist in their period, like you're going to find out where the top is, right? And if their peers are just left and right of them, then they will, the kid that's capable will always surpass them, but by how much, right? And so I think that by putting, your student in a position where the excellence maybe is beyond them, right, is really healthy. Because at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you got second place against a Wood 4 student, and this is your Wood 3 project. You held your own against a Wood 4 kid in a state that never shut down. Kudos.
Awesome.
Imagine if we had pulled off the Wood 4 project.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's a good point, Roy. I experienced that with the wall assembly contest this year. One of my former students put his in, made it to the Final Four against. So he was just a freshman tech school student, and he beat out master architecture students in their masters in architecture down in like Auburn and stuff. And his wall assembly beat out those guys. So, and he was so nervous. He's like, I'm never going to beat. I'm like, dude, just put it in there. Like,
oh yeah, you just had your Sweet 16, the wall project. What did you call that again? I'm sorry.
The Sweet 16 wall assembly.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yes.
That was so. We did a whole episode on that. If you didn't catch it,
Yeah, Connor was a big one putting that together this year.
Yeah, that was great. But it looks like they got some virtual events here as well. So they got this miniature teapots, and that's all about turn a mini teapot. Pretty incredible. I don't know what I'm looking at here. This doesn't look like teapot. Oh, they are teapots.
Art.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Rebecca DeGroot is doing one of those right now. She's a big turner that I follow.
What's her name?
Rebecca DeGroot.
Rebecca DeGroot. Yeah,
I'll
put it
put
in the
it-
chat. Yeah, put it in the chat so I don't have to look. But okay, so that's another virtual event coming up. And then they got this one here, save the date, but they don't have any information yet. And that's later September and then October. That's pretty cool. There's a lot going on. It's hard to do everything, obviously. I'm not suggesting that. Just going through it, and we're just focused on this. Here you go.
Yeah. She's a art teacher out in California, I believe.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Oh, wow. I've not seen this.
Oh, look at this. These are awesome looking. Wow.
Yeah, she does some freaky turnings.
This
She
looks like
turns and she cuts them, miters them, and then glues them together to get all that is turning. And then
how do you do where the entry point of, I don't know how to say it, the protrusion of that hole.
The joint.
Yeah, the joint. How do you do that? You add it to the turning?
she does all, like, I think she does the major turning, and then she'll do a lot of handwork where it's also lathe and shaping.
Oh, there's a line. There's a line there. You're right.
So,
Dude, these are cool. These look like there was this movie Explorers in the 80s. This looks like the big spider robot thing.
Yeah.
Or
if you scroll through some of her work, it's pretty interesting.
Look at it. Go back to that photo. Go back to that photo.
This one?
No, the other one. No, not her. If you look in the background, look, there's skateboards. So she's planning on something with skateboards.
Where?
Look in the back.
To the left.
To the left.
Back
Oh,
left.
yeah.
To the garage door.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, she's planning something with skateboards. I don't know. I know like Ron is really big into like map and Google. Like I always look at what's in the background of people's photos. That's me.
You're just as creepy as me. Yeah, totally. Look at their shop. That's
I think
great.
you're creepier. But anyway,
That's so
just
cool.
because I know you, you're creepier.
Dude, this is amazing. Dude, we got to get her on the show. This is so awesome. Wow, look at that. And what kind of wood is that it's got all those unique little features on it?
She has the same fingernails I do.
Buckeye burl. That would be my guess.
That's
Looks like a
amazing.
musical instrument with stem.
I wonder if she made a whale, Tim.
Oh my God. That was the
Throwback.
funniest
Throwback.
episode ever. I died. What's up, dude?
Hell, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Duke,
I took the kids to an amusement park today.
Can you
Oh,
loot?
she
Can you
does,
loot? Hi, Duke, please. Were you at Knoebels, Duke?
Yeah.
This is very dark and creepy.
I usually head there like once or twice a year.
Well, this is interesting. So this is like, what is this?
He was learning. He was playing with castings and epoxies and resins and what have you.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Now, she also does? So I'm actually getting into graphics lately because I'm doing the top of my project,
Mhm.
and so you need so this must be done. Am I right? This is like animation stuff. Like this is.
Well, by trade, she's an art teacher, so
Oh.
she does. She's the artistic type, and then at home, she does all this turning and crafting and what have you.
I mean, this is amazing stuff. What is
Yeah.
this? Holy schmoly. All right, this is very cool. We got to get her on the show. She's got to explain this. Follow. Oh, look at that. She's got a shop. Oh, that's so cool. You can buy this stuff. Timmy, when are you going to start selling your stuff, man?
When I get a real shop in my house.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You can't sell stuff you make at school.
Oh, no, definitely not.
They don't like that.
You know what's funny? The guy before me who retired, and then, well, there was one guy in between, but there was a guy before me that had my job for 30 years. Rumor has it, they did a Volkswagen a year, pull it in, he would buy it, they'd fix it up, and he'd sell it. Now the kids get real world experience, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of like child labor right there.
Yeah, they don't support you making things at school and then selling them and putting the money in your pocket. So
No, I would never do that. But but they should have some sort of economy because it empowers the kids. Why shouldn't they do that? I mean, it's an incubator space.
You can do it
You
once,
should be able to do that
Ron. Just do it
here,
the last year you're going to be teaching.
yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah,
You may get a warning, but that's about it.
right.
Yeah, you can't do that, just so you know.
No, I do know. Very
Hey,
cool.
Once I get a real shop, then I will be hitting hardcore on the, hey, buy my stuff I made.
Yeah, there you go. Very cool.
Hey, real quick, did any of you guys, speaking of just highlighting students and cool things and stuff, anybody just see Chris Davis, Henry Ford too, Russell Wilson, quarterback Seahawks, just DM'd him on his Instagram.
He does.
Gave him a shout out, like saying that was awesome what he's doing with the kids and stuff.
What's his Instagram again?
Henry Ford too,
Woodworking.
It was on his story.
Got it.
I didn't see that.
They just put it up there.
Oh, then that's why.
There it is. Special project. Yeah, look at this. These guys,
Oh yeah, Jesse and Sarah. Yep.
Yep. Now, I admittedly, I didn't know who they were, so I had to look it up. But that's the creator of Spanx, which means nothing to guys. But she.
Who accuses them?
Yeah, what she does is she's
False
like
advertisement.
Yeah, she's made she's made millions of dollars and created all this industry and wealth and jobs and stuff just based on like a simple need that that people had, you know. And I've heard interviews with her. She's great, very empowering type of thing.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's totally awesome. And then this guy is, I guess, a marathoner or something like that. Or
No, Jesse Itzler was like a hip hop artist, rapper guy back in the 80s, early 90s.
really?
And then he started a jet company that he chartered planes out to celebrities, and I forget which thing was like his big breaking point. And then he eventually became part owner of the Atlanta Hawks. Like Ron, you would love him. The dude's a crazy.
Really?
Like he is a goofball. Like he's one of those guys that just goes for it. Like
Wow. That's awesome.
yeah, he always tells us stories about so when he worked and lived in New York City, one of his recent posts he put up, he hated being stuck in traffic. And so he's like, what if I could just ride? So there's a rickshaw. So he took a rickshaw home from to get home. It was cutting into his workout time. That's what it was. He's like, he hated sitting in traffic because it cut into his workout time. So he like waved down a rickshaw driver, paid him to let him ride his rickshaw home, and the rickshaw driver sat in the back. And then it worked out so well, he would time himself and try to beat his time home. And he hired the rickshaw driver like full time, and the rickshaw driver would get the ride.
That's
like
hilarious.
The dude is, and now he's real big into like he's one of those guys that his goals are everything. So if I have a goal, there's no obstacles. Like they don't stop. You know, but yeah, you need to follow him more and pay attention to what he's doing. You'd be a big fan.
All right.
I think he's a New York guy originally and stuff. And but he talks about the grind, and he talks about like building life resume is his big thing, where you know he plans out his whole year in advance. Like he has he invented an at glance, a yearly at glance calendar that he unfolds. Everything goes on it. And yeah, they are a fun, and he's like super healthy and like health nut, and Sarah is not. So like breakfast, he has these fruit smoothies and everything, and Sarah has like cinnamon buns and stuff. Like it's.
They're married, or what are they? Are they?
Oh yeah, they're married. Yeah, they're married. Talk about a power couple.
Yeah,
but,
you know, it's funny.
One of the things he did was he had a Navy SEAL come live with him and train him for, I forget, for however long it was. He wrote a book about it. Chris has talked about it. But I've seen little clips about it. Dude, it's insane. Like he just the stories he's talking about with living with the Navy SEAL. But yeah, he's a fun one to follow. He's inspiring. He's a good one. He's a fun one. Like
you can buy the entire calendar. Yeah, it's funny. I'm 43, and I finally figured out that if you have a plan, it goes better.
I make plans and I forget to look at them.
Yeah. So I 100% agree with this. You make the plan, and then you got to do a budget that goes with it. I was actually working on it today. Even one of my recent plans, I was always like, hey, I'm going to move to California and this and that. No, I am going to focus 100% on getting this product into the market, the thing I've been working on for the engine stand, and then just have a day job teaching and do the Shop Class podcast. And that's my plan. So now I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work. And it's really helpful. But I think a lot of people already knew that. I didn't figure it out till now. I would just kind of like feel my way. I'd make like a 1 month plan. But no, you got to make like a year, 2 years. You need like a 5, 10. You need like a serious freaking plan. I agree. That's awesome. So, all right. Yeah, we're kind of off the topic here. But basically, Yeah. So, all right. Well, we probably could end the recording right about here, I guess. That was pretty good. Roy gave us the wood shop competition overview. Duke, you missed it. The guy went to Vegas with his kids to go show off the woodworking projects they did.
His students?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll catch up. I'll catch up on the podcast. I missed it. I know.
No problem. All right. Any updates? Anybody want to give an update on anything? Well, I never do that, but we should probably maybe go around and just give some updates. Like, Duke, are you getting ready to go back to school, or what's going on?
Yeah. We're going back. That's the thing. August hits, and you're like, oh man, summer's over. It's really not over. You got like 30 days left, but August 24th and 25th, teacher in service. Kids start August 30th.
Okay.
So then we go for 4 days. We're off that Friday, and then whatever, Labor Day, Monday. And then we go back for another 4 days. Big question is, the kids will be wearing, or the teachers, masks in school.
Yep. We were just talking about that before we hit record, and things are starting to heat up. Yes, they are. It's getting spicy out there again. It's like they weren't satisfied. They're like, let's go in for more. So they broke out the habanero and all the spicy stuff. They're like, yeah, stir it up, let's get it going.
Different variants.
Oh yeah. Okay. Matt, how's it going? What's going on? Any updates on the house or anything like that?
Yeah, we I had a really good work week this week. Got the former teacher of my program that taught when I was in high school. He brought his tractor tiller over, and we tilled up the yard to start getting things prepped and ready for putting some seed down and stuff. So the outside's looking better. Do
you use that roll? Do you do the roll of grass thing?
Oh, the sod? No, but I wish we would now, because good God, I'm just ready for it to be green and not dirt or crabgrass. And so, but next year I may try to see if that budget fits in the budget.
At least the front yard.
Yes, absolutely, Tim.
The
front yard is actually the smallest yard, so it would be the cheapest part, the sod.
You got to get it from Timmy.
Say that, Duke.
You have to get it from around Tim's house. Shades of Death Road. They have a sod farm down there. That's where we used to get it from in Pennsylvania, even.
Nice.
Yeah, Shades of Death Road in Warren County, New Jersey.
Yeah, you got nice.
That's what it's called. Shades
of Death Road. Yep. Actually, I was just over there the other day. I was just there.
Getting sod?
No, I was at the Island Dragway, which is right around there. Shades of Death.
I want to go. I want to go to the drag races. Did you see a car race?
No, I saw a swap meet.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
Yeah, Shades of Death Road. That's right around where I work. So in Warren County, New Jersey.
Gotcha. Hopefully they make the trip without dying.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You got to get that stuff fast.
Yeah.
As soon as the truck comes, you got to start putting it down and getting it watered.
That's what. Yeah, I remember you guys saying that once before, and then I researched it, and that was exactly what they're saying. Yeah. But no, it's good. The inside. One of my former students came over, helped me put the toilets in today. Two of my stepdaughters came over, power washed the house. My wife touched up paint around the exterior doors. We painted the little shed. It's in the backyard. I'll post something here, hopefully maybe tonight. People who followed me on Facebook probably may have seen my wife tag me in pictures, but it was actually a really good productive work day and even work week. And Friday, the electrical company comes over to the other job site for us to figure out the temporary electrical and stuff. School starts for us on the teacher in service is 16th, 17th, and then students come the 18th. So we're getting right there. But the house is getting super close to being done. We leave and go on vacation next week. We're going down to Gulf Shores. So one last getaway Although heck, they're shutting things down there, so we may just be cooking in the condo and sitting out on the beach, which is fine by me.
Mm.
But yeah, we're getting there. It's close. And then the Harbor Freight thing was due today, but they had a glitch on the system and it bumped the submit date till Friday. So I got my thing all typed up. I just have to put together this little 2-minute video thing real quick to turn in, and so I'll probably get that
that's
done
awesome.
tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. I contacted a bunch of the finalists to see if they would get on the show. They didn't get back to me yet. One guy for the 18th, though.
Yeah.
Which you knew already. Nick, what's going on? Give us an update.
Working on my new stuff for my son's Boy Scout troop, and I think we go back at the end of the month. If not, I don't even know. I haven't even looked at the calendar. I know that Rosh Hashanah happens that week, so I don't know if they're gonna have, us come back before Labor Day, and then after Rosh Hashanah. But
We
they haven't
usually
told
go
us.
back after.
Oh, okay. But in our contract, it's worded if the school year starts after X date because of holidays, we have to come in before Labor Day as the in-service stuff, and then kids will start after. But
Got it.
they haven't
Wow.
told us, what we're doing or sent out any emails on mass, whatnot, virtual, hybrid.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna
Please
happen.
no.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Well, I said to one of my administrators when I was in yesterday or the other day, I'm like, I'm fine if you want to give the option to the kids as far as if they choose an elective, they have to be in school. No virtual for them. Be in person only. If they want to be at home, then drop them from the class. It may hurt
Yeah.
my numbers, but this is a hands-on course, and I was speaking towards art, music. Those are all hands-on. You have to be there to experience it. So
I told my brother the same thing today, Nick. I was like, if they're going to do any remote options, take them out of building trades. It's not worth anybody's time.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that, but it's not going to be quality education.
Or at least like for me, I don't mind doing one class virtual, but the hybrid is not a thing. Like they say don't text and drive, but yet I'm supposed to look at a screen and teach welding at the same time. It's absurd. What I did was
his suggestion to that was, well, just set your camera up and screw the kids at home and just teach. Like, have any questions, I can email you.
Yeah, which is real nice. That's what they said to me too. I put one camera by the welder. I put one camera in my hand. I put one camera on the bigger thing, and I can walk around and stuff like that. But it's really distracting, So if they did one fully online, that would be great. If they did, that's fine. But the hybrid is really not a doable thing. Not with the tech they give us, Timmy, what's coming up next?
Yeah, we start school the 23rd. That's August 23rd, and then I have kids the 24th and 25th for half days, and then 26th and 27th I think are also half days and in service. But we haven't heard anything about masks. We haven't heard anything about school year. What it's going to be like. We literally just got an email today saying your schedule is now open in the student information systems. Check that out. They changed our schedule this year, so we have a whole new schedule. Our class time is going to be, we're going to meet every day during the week, but I have less time with the kids every day. So I think we were at 55-minute periods. Now we're going to be at 45-minute periods. So that's going to hurt us, but I'll see them every day. I don't know about any other COVID-related things with school starting, but they haven't said anything yet, and the time is getting close, so we just start hearing that now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, cool. This is good. Roy, thanks so much for giving us the presentation. And Roy starts school tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
My
Where?
wedding anniversary right now, so I'm wearing the shirt.
Where?
No, I'm teasing.
California.
I'm out in California.
Oh man.
So they end earlier than we do, and you guys go back way earlier than I do. I'm not till like deep into the first week of September. That's normal.
I mean, if they went by weather, I mean, we could be on summer break till October.
Yeah, in California. I don't know why they have this schedule anyway. It's kind of a strange schedule to have. I don't really understand. Why don't they just what they should do is, I don't know. It can't even,
After Memorial Day, out before Labor Day, just like college.
Yeah,
I wonder what Australia's schedule is, because Damien's still in school.
Well, but he's winter.
Yeah, they're on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, I wonder when they go to school or how their breaks are.
Yeah, that's a good question.
He was just on earlier today.
Yeah, he was there.
Christmas in July.
You guys bookended. He came early, left. You came late.
Well, and I feel like his schedule, they do it. It almost seems like almost feels like a trimester or year, or if you did year-round schooling, because it seems like he has all of a sudden he'll have like 9 weeks off and then he's back.
Maybe they
I'm not
do.
sure.
I really have no idea. I love hearing from him because it's so interesting to hear what completely different continent. What are they doing? Yeah. I wish we had the European shop teachers. The problem is it's like 3 or 4 in the morning for them right now. I really, we could play with the time, like maybe once a month we could do a different time and try and get them on. We are missing out on, imagine hearing from a German shop teacher or a British shop teacher. That would be so cool. I don't know. All right.
Yeah,
well,
and Jay, they were big into British, like Ron Todd. Remember Ron Todd, Tim? They were always big into what England does and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were that was a whole other breed.
Yeah.
They were, but it was really cool. It was cool to see what they were doing. And I guess, what are they, 6 hours ahead of us? I don't know.
I feel like I've talked to this teacher specifically about the time it would need to be.
Yeah, we've had him
saying something in the chat.
Yeah, we've messaged him before, and I've talked with him a couple times. I think that what country's he in? I forgot. Is it Sweden or Finland?
I thought he's in Finland. No, Finland.
Yeah,
it's one of the Scandinavian ones. I thought
that's an awesome looking shop.
Oh, really? We should should try to get him on a Sunday.
Yeah, I don't mind doing
afternoon where it's kind of early evening for him, afternoon for us.
Yeah, maybe one Sunday a month. That's reasonable, right?
I thought he was saying something when we're on, it's 2:00 in the morning. So
yeah, but if to get him as a guest, maybe we can just do a special Sunday afternoon one. We'll just have to watch the football schedule if we get into fall here.
I got football.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim saw those skateboards in the background. You see that roarrocket.com? Do you guys ever build a skateboard? You can buy them in kits.
Yeah, Jackman and Jackman and Wolby were doing that on their accounts. I looked at them. I don't really have a lot of kids that are interested in skate. I mean, we have a skate park here in the district in a building. But that seems like it was early 2000s that fad for my crew.
I know. That's what I was just wondering, how the kids will take it.
Where's that thing you sent? This?
Yeah. Yeah, you get
you get all the veneer and everything?
Yeah, the veneer comes in a kit, but then I think you can buy it pallets. Save some money, but it comes in a bag.
Yeah, vacuum bag.
Yep.
You have a rigid styrofoam form that you suck the glued veneers down to.
That's awesome. I want to make a longboard.
Yeah, so do I.
Trying to bring back the 80s.
Hell yeah, dude. I ate shit on a board in the spring. Bad. I was lucky. I was wearing wrist guards. Woo! Woo! I was bleeding in my 40s. I was feeling it hard.
Yeah, that's the problem. You're too old.
I know. It hurts when you fall. I need elbow guards and knee guards. Like, I'm not doing it without that stuff.
Yeah, my kid's 5. He wants a skateboard, and my brother's like, "No, don't buy it." He goes, "I guarantee that will be your kid's first trip to the hospital."
That's awesome. Here we go. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, they have some pretty neat colors.
Bend
Dude,
it
just for
out of
pens.
thin air.
You know, Tim?
What?
What was that?
Use the veneers just for pens. Glue up your
Yeah,
own
that
blank.
is cool.
Oh, so I got a question for you guys, a tech question real quick. Okay, I am currently making the graphics for the engraving on my product, and I'm using SolidWorks to make the sketch. So I'm using you know what I mean? But what I really need to do is use a vector program.
You
Am I
need
right?
Illustrator. You need Illustrator or InDesign. One of the two.
Okay. And can I take a sketch from SolidWorks and put it into InDesign or Illustrator using it? Do I have to use a DXF? What should I do?
I don't know if you can modify. I don't know if you can open up a DXF in. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if you can.
Black and white. You have to save it as a certain format.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
For my laser stuff, if I create a graphic, or I create something and then I take a picture of it, I use, since it's free, I use Inkscape. Then I'm able to go out.
Hold on. Let me end the recording here because this is like totally off topic. Hold on. Let me just end it.
Yeah,
All right.
Roy
Thanks for everybody
falls
listening.
asleep.
Shop Class Podcast. Yeah, I know. This is what kill people here. This is like,
Yeah.
Wait,
and then it's
I wanna-
too long.
Yeah.